Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Railroad 82 here, your railroad archaeologist. So it's that time of year again. You guys know that every year I like to go back to my favorite piece of railroad, the remaining piece of the FEC Little River Spur, which is the one that connected to the FEC Overseas Railway along US 1. See how it's doing and how it's progressed. Before we do that though, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of background on it. Okay, so you guys can see here in this first 1950s map, the Y. The bottom rail is the main that ran along US 1, that ran in a way northeast to southwest. And then this line that I'm going to videotape today, which was the former Little River Spur that ran north to south, and then the Y, Stabber Creek Canal. Okay. And then further up north, maybe about 20 blocks from here, you guys can see that many Miamians don't know this. There was a connection on what is now Southwest 48th Street between the FEC and the Seaboard line. There are no traces of this line. Like, this is all residential area now. It's been paved over. Nobody, unless you look at a map, can tell it was there. And then further up north, it went eventually into around Miami International Airport into the FEC Yard. Here are some photos from 1988 from about 4, maybe 3 miles south of the location that I'm going to film today. This was 1988, October 1988, as they were removing the rails. I shot a before and after video here. I'm going to include the link in the description. So you guys are more than welcome to click it if you'd like. And now let's see what the track looks like in 2021. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of year again where I come check up on my favorite section of abandoned railroad. This is, as you saw, the Stabber Creek Canal over here in Kendall, Florida, which is just south of Miami. This is what was the former FEC Little River Spur. So this over here connected to the main line along US 1, which was quote unquote the Miami extension of the Overseas Railway. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this year that passed did to this section of abandoned rails. Join me. Okay, so I was standing right over there when I began filming. Now I'm over here. Okay, if I recall correctly, first things first, I remember that you can still see a section of the pilings over here. There's a whole bunch of iguanas, so I gotta look out. Oh, look, this I did not see last year. This looks like it might have been a whistle post, or maybe a milepost. Definitely. Yeah, wow. Okay. So we already made one discovery. Let's see what else we can find over here. Okay, so this was a wooden trestle that was removed around the year 2000. There you go. There's a iguana that dove in. You got some ducks over there. So as I was saying, this was one of the original pilings for this. I'm sure that was part of something too. And then over here we begin with the ties. This might have been the circuitry for the railroad crossing that was up ahead. I'll take you guys over there and show you where the crossing was in a little bit. But first, let's take a look over here. I remember these rails were, I think, made by Maryland. What a shame. Okay guys, so this Little River Spur was built around 1928, late 1920s, to connect the FEC line. Look at this gap over here. To connect the Hialeah Yard, which is about 8 miles north of here, right next to the Miami International Airport, to, as I said, the main line over there. That's south, and this is north. So the last train over here was 1984 from Homestead. It ran once a week. It brought produce, and the last FEC engineer to bring produce from Homestead to the Hialeah Yard was Dave Shelley. Look at that. I think they recently cut the grass. If you guys noticed, when we began filming, there was a for sale sign. So maybe the owner of this land is trying to make it look attractive to investors. And they've sawed off a lot of trees here. You can see there's a stump, there's another stump, there's a few more over there. Yeah, I remember. So I come here every year to film, because as I said, this is my favorite. I remember seeing this line as a kid and the crossings and everything else. So it holds a special place in my heart, as corny as that sounds, but it is true. So it's like I feel part of me is over here, and I come to see how it's doing. So yeah, over you can still see the rail bed. There's like a mound of sorts. And I'm gonna include a Google Maps link so you guys can follow along with me. Okay, so we've seen what this holds over here, right? Look at this tie plate. Legend has it that at night you can still hear trains rolling through here. It's still on there. You can still see some ballast. So yeah, I did not see any dates or any information on rails today, but as I said, further down the line I remember seeing one that said Maryland 1928. So this line, guys and gals, has seen steam trains, seen passenger trains, freight trains. What is that thing? All right, it's seen hurricanes, it's seen Model Ts, and look at in what sad state it's in. Okay, so we're gonna walk south, and I'm gonna show you guys some interesting things over there. Okay, so right there was where we saw the cut-off piling. Then this is Snapper Creek, that's going west to the Everglades. This is where the other side of the rails would have been. Okay, I'm gonna cross the street, show you guys something interesting over there. So this is Southwest 85th Street, right? And we were just over there. We were over there. Now, Southwest 85th Street. So this would be a straight line. Remember that big tree over there where that was growing right on the rail? This would have came straight through here, straight through here. I'm literally standing on where the rail bed would have been. And then in 1984, FEC, okay, I'll get to that later. But just so you see, like, there's a gap in those columns over there. So the locomotive went through there and it went about maybe a mile south of here. That was, as I said, that Metrorail was put in 1984. So about a mile south of here was the extent of the FEC line. In 1988, FEC sold their property from 88th Street, which is Kennel Drive, south to Florida City for $6 million. And then after that happened in 89 was when they pulled the rails over here and the crossings, and it all came crumbling down. So yeah guys, that is today's history lesson. I hope you liked it. Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Remember, I post videos on Wednesdays and Sundays. Thank you as always. Pleasure. Bye-bye.